Hello and welcome to our November 2025 garden tour. I was not actually expecting to do a garden tour for November because, it's really late in the season, but we actually have some progress to show. And so I figured I'd get it done. And the first thing that I'm really happy about is we got a straw bale again. And boy, did I take a chunk off of this thing. So, what I've been working on today is mulching, for a second time, our winter sown beds. These were already mulched with leaves, but it looks like we're not going to be getting a lot of snow this year. So, I've mulched it again with straw, and over here is where the second trellis bed is going to be built. There's our first log for it. Anyways, and on this side, I didn't need to mulch this, but I figured I would just in case. This is where the cosmos, nasturtiums, and asters were. And I did allow some aster seeds to drop. They survived the frost because the cosmos sheltered them enough. The cosmos did not survive to produce seed. So there might be aster seeds under here that will come up. So I figured I'd cover them up. The mulch actually looks a lot more than there is there because I simply broke the cosmos stems, and so there's a lot of air under there, so this will be extra insulated. So I got this bed over here done. This bed I'm not bothering. I'm letting it freeze so that if there's any pathogens in there, any mold or whatever, they will freeze. Hello, Colin. Yeah, good boy. You're a good boy. Yeah, so let the buggies freeze in this one. And who knows, we might end up with self-seeded carrots in here. So this one is seeded. We got this one I've covered with the plastic, so not bothering. This one will be finished in the spring. This is where the garlic is with spinach and chard. And then this one is ready for the spring. And I actually remembered to cover the Albion ever-bearing strawberries that were transplanted into here, and the asparagus. Though we only had asparagus on this side, green ones and purple ones over here didn't come up. We'll see. And over here, what I am expecting to do, I've decided under here I'm going to plant corn next year. All right, we're in the east yard, and these two beds are winter sown, so they've got a leaf mulch underneath, straw on top. This cover is basically here to store for the winter. And then there's two beds over here that I didn't get to. I'm going to leave them for the winter. And as with the others, I didn't bother mulching so that any fungus or whatever in there, they'll freeze. And with these, I didn't mind getting a lot of straw on here on the sides because even with the mulch, they can freeze from the sides. The higher the bed is and the thinner the walls, the more likely they'll freeze from the outside. I did try to plant things closer in, and you can see the stakes I've left to mark where things were planted. Oh yeah, you want pets. But yeah, so that's just a little extra to help keep them from freezing. Hello, Pinky. She just got fixed recently. She's got a bare belly. Yeah. They didn't need it, but I did add mulch on top of the purple asparagus bed. Who knows if they'll survive, because this area does get drowned out in the spring with the melt, but if we end up with another drought year, that might not be an issue. So this actually looks higher than it is because I pruned the asparagus fronds and just dropped them. And there were seeds in there. I have collected seeds, but I also left seeds, so who knows, we might have self-seeded asparagus. And the sunchoke, they don't need any kind of cover. This bed is a work in progress. We're gathering materials, gonna make slightly higher walls, and do it in such a way that we can cover the bed to protect it from both critters and from the seeds, so that as soon as the ground is thawed out in the spring, I'll start working on that, but we need a lot more materials than what we have so far. And then over here is where I transplanted the teeny tiny strawberries, and they are mulched with leaves, but I added extra mulch. These are in the chimney blocks, so they're in concrete, so any extra mulch would be good for them. All right, here we have our tulip bed. The tulips don't need to be mulched. They're planted deep enough, but I made sure to mulch where we planted the saffron crocuses because, much to my shock, really, really late, we got saffron crocuses showing up. And a couple of them actually, well, one bloomed, and I could actually harvest a whole 3 saffron threads. And the other one, there was a flower bud, but it didn't have a chance to bloom. But yeah, that was they're supposed to bloom in like August, so for them to bloom in November, that's really something. So yeah, these are getting an extra layer of mulch so that they have a better chance of survival, and just a little mulch around the Liberty apple tree. Like the crocuses, they are a zone 4 and we're zone 3. And then finally, the old kitchen garden. I had extra straw left over, so I mulched the rhubarb over here. The retaining wall blocks, they've got mint in some of the blocks. We transplanted more of those teeny tiny strawberries into the other ones. And so I figured, normally I would not be mulching this bed at all, but for those tiny transplants, I wanted to do that. And then I went ahead and put on the rhubarb over here. This is where we have our herbs, which were actually still looking pretty green when I covered them, but they got covered with frozen rain. So I've mulched all around the bed itself. I've got the walking onions under here. But again, mulching around the sides so that they don't freeze from the sides. Got the winter sown bed over here. That's all covered. And I have this end, this bed is winter sown as well. And then I went ahead and covered the remaining strawberries that are in here. And when I'm cleaning up, I found a pepper that I missed. So I just, tossed the seeds along this bend over here right against the back wall. So, we might actually get self-seeded, well, not self-seeded, but winter sown peppers. The Sweetie Snack, Sweetie Snack Mix, I think it was called. And there's nothing in here. But yeah, so there's that and that. And then I had extra straw, so I went ahead and covered over here. I actually want to kill off things over here for the most part, except we do have double daffodils in here. And we also have some iris bulbs that were planted in here, and they just kind of haven't been showing up. So hopefully with the mulch, well, they've tried to show up, but not flourishing. So hopefully mulching it will help them out in the spring. And there we have it for our 2025 garden tour, our last tour of the year. Stinky, why you do that? And as you can see, the cats absolutely love the straw. Anyhow, so hopefully with the extra mulching, we'll have a head start on next year's garden with all the winter sowing. And dude, what you doing? What you doing? Look at that. Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, that's it for this year, and hopefully in the spring I'll have lots to show you.